Hey everybody, this is Lewis again from Ledoux Wines here for another video. So today we are going to do how to read a German wine label. And so it's not just you. German wine labels are very, very confusing. They have a bunch of different vocabulary that can mean different things depending on the context. Even the length of the covering here can denote levels of quality in the wine. And so what I'm going to do, instead of trying to translate all of these things for you, is I'm going to give you 3 rules of thumb of which you can find a great Riesling and a great dry Riesling, because this is one of the things I have customers ask me most about. They say, Lewis, I don't really like Riesling too much. It's always too sweet. And I tell them, nonsense. Dry Riesling is one of the great wines of the world. And let me show you a few. So I've got 3 dry Rieslings here and 1 sweeter one, so you can see what those labels look like as well. So the first rule of thumb that you should always look for is you should look for this word Truckin. If you see the word Truckin on a label, it is dry 99.9% of the time. So here we have this Riesling Auslese Truckin. Now, you might say, Lewis, doesn't Auslese mean sweet? Not always is the answer, but Truckin always means dry. So Auslese here is referring to the ripeness of the grapes, not when they were picked and harvested, not the sweetness of the wine. So if you see the word Truckin on any German wine label, you are getting a dry wine. The second word or set of symbols that you should look for on any wine, especially at the higher end, is the letters GG or Grossgewächs. So what this symbolizes is that there has been this series of laws passed relatively recently within German wine denoting great plots of land for making dry Riesling, and these are called Grossgewächs. So if you see any bottle of German Riesling with the letters GG or Grossgewächs, it is always dry and it is almost always good. These are the Grand and Premier Crus of the German wine world. Excellent, excellent wines. The last thing you should look for is the alcohol level, and this is especially useful on entry-level bottles that don't necessarily have all that other nomenclature on them, which is often just as much of a sign of quality as it is of anything else. So this is an entry-level bottle from the Mosel, and it doesn't really tell you much of anything about whether it's going to be dry or sweet. So the best thing to do is to try and find the alcohol level, which is, this bottle is sitting at about 12%, and what you really want to find is 12, 12.5. Anything above that is almost always going to be a dry wine. So you can see on this bottle we have 13%, and this bottle we also have 13%. So lastly, I have a quick counterexample. These are signs that you're going to get a sweeter Riesling. So this here says Cabinet, but it does not have the Truckin modifier. It also, if you look at the alcohol level, is sitting right at 8%. This is a sign that you are getting a wine with much more residual sugar, and you're going to get a still delicious but sweeter product. So those are my 3 rules for finding great dry Riesling, no matter how confusing the label looks. You look for the word Truckin, you look for the letters GG or words Grossgewächs, and you check to see if the alcohol is going to be above 12, 12.5%. If you follow those rules, you're going to be drinking great.